Mr. J Vava. What's going on, blood?
JTG.
What up, what up, what up, what up?
Let's welcome our audience, our listeners, to another episode of Giant Fundamentals, the podcast dedicated to empowering men by tackling the vital issues of mental health. With that being said, how's your mind? How's your body? How's your heart? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful to be alive. I'll start there.
Okay.
My heart and mind, I feel moody.
Okay.
My mind feels scattered because I have so many major decisions that I have to make. Decisions that I'm in a place where there's certain things that I have to make decisions for. I've never made those sorts of decisions in that area before. So it's like, you get the anxiety, you get the what ifs, and, so I am thankful that I'm able to anchor myself and my breathing techniques, journaling, and just allowing myself to feel too. That's one thing that I learned this week is that I have a tendency to intellectualize how I feel. I didn't know that I did that. I thought I didn't do that. But when I look at the definition and I look at the ways of doing it, I was like, oh yeah, I do that. So just learning how to say, I'm angry right now and not giving a reason why. Just sitting like, I'm angry. I don't have to give a reason why I'm angry. I'm angry. And just being, just sitting with that. So I've been practicing that. And then also having people to speak to as well that can help reframe how I'm seeing things. Because it's always about how you're seeing it. It's always about how you're seeing it. What is that saying? When you change the way you see things, the way you see things change.
Say that again.
When you change the way you see things, the way you see things change.
Okay.
Yeah. So really just, what do you call that? You know how when you have binoculars and you're kind of like focusing it, and that's what I'm really trying to do. Like I'm like really trying to see things in a way that's going to benefit my mental and emotional health. So that's where I'm at. That's my giant gratitude.
Okay. My mind is clear. My mind is game planning, strategizing for the year, like seeing different things from a different lens, kind of like what you just mentioned, seeing how the year is going to plan out, seeing just my vision is what I'm
Listen, speaking of that, I went to the beach the other day and I did a list of all the things, a lot of things that we said we are going to do, and then some other things that I'm going to do. I was like, bro, it's a long list of stuff. I'm like, yo, it's a long list of things. Okay.
And January is already over, so
yeah,
exactly. So happy New Year and Merry Christmas all over again. That's what we're gonna be saying.
Literally.
So, when it comes to my heart is full. I feel like my heart is full. My body, I'm starting to feel my age.
Really?
Yeah, I could feel, especially when you're partying and drinking, I can feel the turnaround.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you have been going out lately. Yeah, that's true.
The turnaround time is not,
Yeah, that's true. The bounce back. You're not as elastic as it used to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's funny that was your giant gratitude, because it leads into mine, which says that when you talked about intellectualizing what you're going through or what you're feeling, I noticed that we all do this, always wanting to know how, not realizing we're doing it now. So always asking like, oh, how are we going to do this? I want to do this, but how is it going to happen? Not realizing that every day that we wake up and we make one small step, we're doing it. We're actually doing it now. What comes to mind when I said that?
No, you're echoing something that someone recently literally just told me, like right before we got on here. Wow. It's like, yeah, you have a lot going on right now, but you're handling it so well. I'm like, shit, nigga, I don't feel like that. I feel like, he's like, yeah, because you're not crashing out, you're not going over the edge, you're not. I'm like, you're right, but I guess I'm so in tune with my inner world. It just feels like I'm going crazy. It feels like, the TV shows, how the person did just start thinking in their head, right?
Yes.
It feels like everybody knows what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. Because inside myself, I'm like, fuck, like what the? I'm just going crazy. And it feels like everybody could see that I'm doing that, but I'm
Right.
really not. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I am doing it. I'm asking how, but I'm actually doing it. So yeah.
That is something that in my deep thoughts this week where I was just like, oh, okay. I was listening, I forgot what podcast I was listening to, and it was talking about the fear of intellectualizing what you're going through, your feelings, always
Yeah.
trying to find a logical answer as to why is this happening
Yes.
instead of just sitting in it and allowing it to happen and then moving forward.
But you know what I learned about that?
Mm.
That question, why, is more prominent for people who are spiritual people
Mm.
because the why question is an existential question. It's something that you're trying to get an answer from something that is outside of you, but you know that something that is outside of you is much bigger than you. So
Mm.
normally people who live a life of deep spiritual connection with them and God,
Yeah.
it's like you ask yourself, why, man, why am I going through this? Why is this happening? Yeah. So that also, and I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you have to be able to balance that out because, bro, asking why sometimes it don't help you.
Waste time.
Yeah, it's like you wasting energy, you just mulling over, it's just know what's happening, just know what's happening for your good, sit in it and just let time pass, for you to, to get over it, to get through it.
Mhm. Well, one thing that I wish I had, or one group of people that I wish had more time, was the University of Miami Hurricanes. Because damn, we almost won that. Come on, dog.
You know, when you do that, I'm always trying to figure out where the hell this nigga about to go with this.
That game was a thriller, bro.
Man. But honestly, bro, I'm not disappointed at all, man. I think
I
if you
know.
a real Kings fan and back in the day where Ed Reed, Willis McGahee, all these dudes, even before then, to see what just happened is like, all right, we back on the map.
Yeah.
We back on the map. So that makes me proud. And then, we didn't get blown out. Them
No, we the
boys
only
made it
team.
a game. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, all right, if we would have won, and our barber Julio, shout out to Julio, he was saying that too. He was like, in my mind, we already won. And he was telling
Yeah.
me that the week before. He said, in my mind, we already won. I don't care what happened. We won already. And it's like, yeah, it's true. Like, we back on the map.
Mhm.
So, what did it say? We lost the battle, but we won the war.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like it's that type of situation because now I feel like UM going to have at least the next 5 to 8 years where they're going to be always there, at
Yeah.
least from this.
Yeah.
So
It's a true underdog story because, I mean, they didn't want us there in the first place.
exactly,
And we were the only ones to give Indiana any real competition. They blew
exactly,
so, and
exactly.
they won. Indiana was the better team. We all knew that, but they literally had to win because of like
Special team.
taking advantage. Huh?
It was special teams. Yeah, there was like a
Special
block
teams,
punt or
like
something like that.
right,
Yeah,
like it wasn't. It's like little things that happen. They took
yeah,
advantage of, which
yeah.
is what a championship caliber team does.
Exactly. Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Exactly. So
But it wasn't a situation where we didn't deserve to be there or we were outmatched. We
yeah,
kept it
sure. Yeah,
really to lose by 5 points. that's
yeah.
that's an amazing feat.
Hmm.
So what Eminems you have for us this week? What mental health music?
This song called "Paid to Exist."
Paid to exist.
Oh
Paid to exist. That's a prostitution song? What's that? Yeah, what's that?
no, if it was prostitution, it would have been paid to perform.
Oh
This
yeah, you're
paid to
right, you're right, you're
exist.
right. Yeah, got you, got
Or pay for the poom poom.
you.
But
Example
nah,
life.
pay to exist. Bruh XTN. I guess that's how
Mhm.
you say her name. But what's her real name? What you say her real name
Her
was?
real name is Christina Morsala.
Christina Marsala. So
Yeah.
this song is good, man. The words is just amazing. It says, "I'm paid to exist. Abundance on my list. Every breath that I take is proof of my gift. What I seek seeks me back. Every dream's on track. I am a light. I am whole. all abundance flows back. I align
Mm.
with flow. Every seed that I plant, it will grow. I am guided, supported by the light I've embodied. I walk fearless and steady. My path is for glory. My heart is the story. Yeah.
So
So
yeah, what like what are some of the main things that you got from that?
the thing that sticks out to me the most with this song in general is the idea that we've been pushing as men, we don't have to do to belong. We don't have to do to be loved. Just because we are who we are deserving of love. Now, I know this is talking about paid to exist, but it just has that same train of thought,
Mhm.
right? Because we always think that there's something that we need to do is we have to a big performance or we have to get the accolades or we that's how we're going to show that we're worthy. And it's like no, like abundance flows my way just because I have the breath of life in me.
Mm.
And a lot of us as men, that's not on mine at all. That's no week, bro. I literally just got out of a session where I had a client. I had him take the performance based identity assessment,
Okay.
and there's a question on there that asks. It says there's a statement that says, "I'm only lovable when I am achieving, performing, or have some sort of duty."
Hmm.
And there's a scale from 0 to 4, 0 being the lowest and 4 being the highest. And he put a 3. So I'm like, so we're talking about that. And bro, my man started to really, he started to cry.
Wow.
Yeah, because you see the thing, what I like about these assessments is that you've never thought about these questions before,
Right.
but they are in the back of your subconscious mind, and the statements, the questions brings it to the forefront. So once it's at the forefront, and if you're going to be really honest with yourself, it's going to hurt you, it's going to hit you because you're like, damn, I only feel like I'm lovable when I'm doing something, when
Mhm.
I'm performing, when I'm achieving, when I have responsibility. Yeah, that's hurtful to just believe that about yourself.
Right. Yeah, you're totally on point with that. Something that, I mean, the title of the song "Paid to Exist," it brought me back to my Christian upbringing, whereas like, you know, God, Jesus always paid the price for us to be here, right? So why are we acting like we're not valuable just because we're not the president of the United States or the head of a Fortune 500 company? Um,
We'll have
you
all this
know,
money and
have all this money and all this. Like, no, you
yeah,
someone already paid the price for you to be here. Like, you're good. Like, you were
you
worth
belong
it. You belong. You're worth it no matter what.
no matter
What you
what.
do, how you feel, how you may look, you belong. So it's like I think that's a great song, especially since it's a motivating song. And it has you said it has a little bit of an up tempo beat, right?
Yeah, it's not even like up top, but it's like cool vibe type of. I'll play it
Mhm.
when we're done. It's like a cool vibe type of. It's really good. I
Yeah,
sent it to you
I
before,
definitely
but I'll be sending you a lot of stuff. You probably didn't see it.
yeah, I'm still catching up. But
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I sent it to you like what, like a month ago or something. When I
month
first heard it,
ago.
I was like, oh, this song is good. I
Yeah.
listened to it a few times. It's like the words, the vibe. It's like if you want to get into a meditative state and just feel good about yourself, this is a song that you put on to listen to.
And that's the point that I was gonna make is like those type of songs are great songs for morning meditation, you know, like some of
Yeah,
us we don't want to sit up there and look ourselves in the mirror and recite affirmations, right? I get it.
yeah.
Sometimes it can be corny. But if you
Hmm.
have a song you're meditating to in the background and you're doing some push-ups, or you journaling, sometimes I
Yeah.
like certain music while I journal. Man, it takes you to that next level.
For sure. You setting the mood. You know, we want to set the mood when you're making love, but you also got to set mood when you're making love to yourself.
Come on,
And
kid.
I ain't
Not
talking
using
about
your
beating
right
your
hand
meat
though.
either. And I ain't talking about beating your meat either.
Exactly. So leave the meat alone, bro. Now, talk about beating yourself up. Our main topic today are unrealistic expectations that degrade men at their core. So if you could kind of give me a genesis of what made you want to bring this up to the pod this week.
Hmm. Well, because I'm recognizing that there are certain beliefs that we have as men
Mhm.
that we don't recognize that are degrading us. We actually think this way of thinking actually qualifies us as a real man, but is actually doing the reverse. It's degrading us. Is they're just putting us in a position where we're human doings, not human beings.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
there were several of these unrealistic expectations that we have on ourselves, but I just got three main ones that I
Okay.
really wanted to like really dig into and, you know, beat it home.
Well, we beating it up today, boy.
There's a lot of beating, huh? Beating your meat, beating the expectations. Oh
What's
man.
the first one? What's the first unrealistic expectation that degrade men at their core?
Yeah, so it goes ties right into the song and right into what the session I have with that client is believing that your worth is proven by how much you can be productive. One of the most dangerous things, and you know the thing is crazy? I've always lived like that from that lens without
Yeah.
even recognizing it. But you
Mhm.
see, productivity is supposed to be a byproduct of the love you have for yourself and the love that you have for life. But what we do is we do the reverse. We say, if I'm productive and people recognize how productive I am and people recognize the results that I bring to the table, then I'm going to be loved.
Mhm.
Then I could love myself. Then I could be proud of myself. But that's not true because now you're gonna be constantly on this hamster wheel of producing to gain love. And you're gonna be constantly on this hamster wheel of trying to prove to yourself that you're worthy of it.
Mhm.
Constantly on this hamster wheel of trying to do things so you can be proud of yourself. And it's literally never going to end. There's something that J. Cole said a while back because at this time he ain't had no hair. I mean, he had no hair at that time. He had a little fro,
Live forever.
right? And he said that he recognized, and I feel like I'll say this. I feel like that was like the genesis of his awakening moment, like spirituality and stuff. Because now he's in the industry, and like he dropped the album. I think that's 2014, Forest
Okay.
Hill album. He dropped that album. He's saying
Yeah.
this. He's like in the interview. He's like, you can have all the money that you want. There's no end to making money. It never stops. Like you're just constantly on this chase to get
Mhm.
more money, to have more assets, but does that really make you feel good within yourself? So the way that he's speaking in the interview, I'm like, this was the beginning for him. Where you start to go inward and you start to recognize like the more I do is not making me more whole within myself.
It's actually
But the thing
opposite.
about a lot of us, what you say?
I say actually it was it's sometimes it could be in reverse.
No, for absolutely 1,000,000%. And that's the thing. Is like, but a lot of us, it's like this dopamine high. It's like we produce, we produce, we produce, we get the results, we feel good for a moment, then we come to reality, we don't feel good about ourselves. And it was like, well, the last time I felt good is when I was getting results. So you get back on it again. And
Okay.
that's for the men out here, for the people out here, the people that do that, that's the people that you're not taking time to sit within yourself. It's like the moment you feel the pain, you just try to jump out of it and just do whatever you need to do to get out of it. It's kind of like
Mhm.
when you turn on the stove and then you put your hand on the stove, you tap it, you're like, oh shoot. Like you just hop off it real fast. It's the same thing. It's like you start to feel that emptiness and it's like, oh shit, I don't want to feel that. You jump out of it real fast and you just start doing the thing that made you feel good before.
So specifically, what I want to ask you towards your experience, I know we always talked about the fear of you feeling lazy.
Oh,
That was one of those things when it comes to productivity. So like what were you telling what story were you telling yourself at that time? And how did you, I guess, reshape that narrative over time?
yeah, that's a great question. For me, I know I looked at rest, um, mainly rest. I looked at rest and I looked at work as enemies.
Mhm.
That's how I looked at it. It's like rest is is the enemy to work. So if rest is the enemy to work, and I know I need to work to get certain results, then I can't rest.
Mm.
Yeah. So once I did that equation, I'm like, yo, this is not healthy. But the thing that really took it over the top for me was the people around me. See, I don't necessarily like to listen to people. I know that about myself. I don't.
Mhm.
It just takes me time, like, especially if somebody's trying to tell me, "Oh, you should do this and that," I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna say that's just how I am because I can change that, I can. Let me just say I
Mhm.
don't want to, let me be honest, I don't want to, okay? So, but I would say when I keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again, over time, I'm like, everybody's telling me I don't like to rest, I don't like to chill, and this and that and that. I need to have fun, I need to do this. And I'm like, is there some truth there? So once I started digging into that and then also going to therapy and seeing what that is, I'm like, oh, that's where me thinking that my worth is proven in productivity.
Mhm.
That's where it is because if you're always working and you're not resting, then you can't have true emotional presence. But you
Mm.
see, rest, emotional presence, self reflection, those three things right there are seen as laziness to a man who is so stuck and hell bent on gaining value through being productive. I
Mm.
literally thought that resting was being lazy. I ain't much gonna hold you. And it felt uncomfortable to start the rest. Now I'm much better at it. Like, listen, I'm chilling now. I could chill. I could not do anything for a whole day and not feel guilty. And that's one thing that I always tell my clients is like, when you are actually resting, how do you feel? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel ashamed? Do you feel guilty? If you're feeling this way,
Mhm.
that means you have an issue with rest. You have a big issue with rest. And that means that your identity is tied to solely being productive.
I don't wanna jump too far. I don't wanna, because I wanna hear the next 2 reasons before I ask you the hierarching question. So
Mm,
what's the second? The first one is productivity. What is the second unrealistic expectation?
okay. This is a big one.
Mm.
I feel like this is one is like my favorite one because I feel like a lot of men struggle with this and don't even recognize it.
Mhm.
Is that you're supposed to be emotionally strong, but never emotionally affected.
Wow. Okay, okay.
Okay, what do I mean by that? So as a man, this is a real man, quote unquote, air quotes. This is a real man. I'm
Real man.
supposed to be able to know how to handle pressure, loss, rejection,
Right.
responsibility
Mhm.
without looking visibly impacted. I'm supposed to look like I have everything under control. Like this does not phase me one bit. This is an impossible standard. It's impossible. Like I'm carrying all this emotional weight and I'm
Right.
supposed to just be stoic. I'm just supposed to act like nothing is wrong. I'm supposed to act like it's nothing. I'm supposed to be nonchalant about it.
Mhm.
This is why a lot of men that's why we deal with substance abuse.
Devices.
That's why devices come into the picture because that emotional weight has to go somewhere. It has to. But you see, society doesn't give us an opportunity to carry the emotional weight and then also express the heaviness of the emotional weight.
Mhm.
We're just supposed to carry it and act like nothing is wrong. Yo, this is the most damaging thing because in order for us to really be humans, we have to be able to feel. We have to be able to express how we
Mhm.
feel. But men they don't feel safe enough in themselves to actually admit that they're feeling as if it's too heavy. The men don't have people or places, safe places to go to express these sorts of things. So you're harboring all of this. I just got a new client of mine. Man, let me tell you something. This dude is going through the most. I'm like, yo, how you going through this? Like, he doesn't have a place to stay. He's back and forth from one hotel to the next with his son, baby mama, wherever she is. She isn't in a good place, so he had to end up getting full custody of the son. And then as the son is young, he's only 7 years old. And he's just describing me everything that he's going through. And I'm like, And I said it to him plainly. I said, "Man, you're telling me this stuff as if it doesn't phase you, but you're carrying a lot." And he's like, "Yeah, I know I'm saying it like it's nothing, but it is a lot, it's a lot." He's like, "Man, I'm holding back tears even now." And I was like, I said, "Yeah, well, we don't do that here. This is where we allow the tears to flow. We just let it, we just let it flow." And he was like, "Yeah, I try to be strong for my son, but the other day, you see, here's the thing. I'm trying to be strong for my son, but the other day I broke down and cried in front of him." And I was like, "Man, this whole concept of being strong, man, for men is unhealthy. It's like
Mm,
we think not showing emotion, not crying in front of those who are counting on us shows that we're strong. No, it does not show that you're strong.
mm,
Vulnerability is real strength. So he did say
mm.
he ended up crying in front of his son or whatever, and he was like, his son was cheering him up. He was like, "Man, it's you and I against the world." And his son like really just cheered him up, started doing funny things. And he said that made him feel better. And I was like, so what if you held it together? You would have never had that bonding experience with your son.
Right. I
So
mean,
this whole
uh,
concept of like, oh, you got to be strong. It's like, or that concept of I got to carry the weight, the emotional weight of said situation, but not show emotion. It's not healthy, man.
hopefully for his homework assignment, you assigned him the movie Pursuit of Happiness because
That would have been a good movie for real. Yeah.
that's literally what he's going through right now.
Yeah.
Literally what he's going
Yeah.
through. And it's interesting you say that because the Dolphins just hired their new head coach. And I know, it's okay. And in his speech, his first speech to the team, he started crying. So innately in my mind, I'm like, dang, that's not good because you already showing a sign of weakness.
Mm.
Them boys gonna try you. But then I had to watch it again and I realized, like you said, that strong feeling of emotion is energy stored inside of you and you
Yeah.
have to let it out. And really what he was letting out and showing was the passion and the appreciation
Exactly.
for
That's
the
a word that came
opportunity.
to my mind. I was thinking that I
Mhm.
was like, is it weakness or is it passion? But you
Right.
see, what we've done is we've labeled tears. When we see tears, we label them strictly as weakness.
Yeah.
When somebody loses a championship, when they cry, what is that? That's passion. Like you put your all into it and you didn't make it there. When somebody sheds tears when they win a championship, what does that mean? That's joy. All that hard work, you made it there. So you see what we're doing? It's like we're oversimplifying and we're categorizing tears in just in just the category of weakness.
Right. And that oversimplification is that binary thinking that we have to try to make we try to solve life problems as easy as possible. So we just label the tears as like, oh no, that's men shouldn't do that. And it's like, you're right. Like, how are you going to be emotionally strong but not emotionally affected? That doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
What's the third? I'm thinking this is the biggest one. What's the
Mm,
third?
the third one, I think this one is one that I believe most men can see. Like you can kind of feel it and see it on the surface. Is that you have to have everything already figured out.
Mm.
Yeah, you have to have everything figured
And
out. You got to know what path you're going on. You got to know how many you're gonna make your money. You got to know your direction, your identity, your purpose. You got to know how to do. You got to know this by age 18.
Tell me about it.
So then now, when you're actually living life and you start to struggle, instead of you looking at the struggle as an opportunity to grow, as an evolution, you're looking at your struggle as your failure
Mhm.
because you feel as if, oh, I should have already had this figured out by now. And everything in front of us, everything that we see in front of us tells us, hey, by a certain age, as a man, you should have it all figured out. One of my clients, like, I think he's like late 20s, like 26, 27. And He's talking to this girl and she's asking him all these questions like, oh, where do you see yourself a year from now? Would you have a house? Would you have a place? This and that and that. And she's making it seem like as if he don't got his shit together. And you see, this is the type of stuff that men have to deal with. So now it's reinforcing what you've already been believing. Like, damn, I don't got my shit together.
Right.
Yeah. And
So
that brings up that brings up a lot of pressure. And then now you start to live and do things outside of what you value most. You start to live and you start to do things that are outside of the scope of who you are as a person. Because now you feel as if I'm behind, right? You know how many people be like, yo, I'm behind. That's why I love Gary Vee, because he was like, you 35, you 40? Oh, you just started. Oh man, your better years are ahead of you. Like, he's always debunking that mentality that, oh, you're in your 30s, your 40s, you're in your 50s, that life is over for you. He's
mhm,
always debunking that. And it's true, because we don't recognize that literally, like, the first 30 years, 30 plus years of your life, you've been operating off of the programming that was given to you at birth, that was given to you by your family, that was given to you by society, friends, whoever. You are
mhm.
operating based off of a set of beliefs and rules that said, oh, you need to be doing this, this, that, and that, and that's how life is going to be good for you. But then when you get a certain age, you recognize, like, man, this doesn't work for me. This is
Mhm.
not true for me. So now it's like that's when life really begins. That's why you said the midlife crisis, as we call it, a midlife crisis, or you can call it a midlife awakening. Either of the two. I would go with the midlife awakening, because for some people, you wake up and you're like, wow, this is not how I want to live. This is not who I want to be. I was this version of myself based off of what I thought I should be and who I should be. But now I'm recognizing that I have more agency of my life. I get to choose who I want to be. So now the unlearning process starts. You
So how
start to unravel certain things. But if you stay
mhm.
stuck in the mindset, oh, I should have already have it figured it out, life is going to be an uphill battle.
What do you say to the men that hear from women and mentors that men should lead, right? Because part of you feeling like you have to have everything figured out is because you have to be the leader of your home, you have to be the leader of your siblings, you have to be the leader in your classroom, your job, and you have to have all the answers. You're the problem solver.
But that's right there. It goes back to the oversimplification. Why are
Mm,
we making leading and having everything figured out synonymous? Why are we doing that?
mhm.
That doesn't make no sense. So you're essentially saying I need to be perfect. That's what you're saying.
That's how we
But
feel.
see, the thing is, when you think about as a man and being a leader, man, it's so broad. It's so broad. But if you want to look at key things, being a leader is one. Are you in tune with your values and who you are as a person? Because ain't no leading nobody. You can't even lead your dog to pee outside if you don't know what you value most. So first and foremost, you have to be connected with yourself. And in order to be connected with yourself, you have to also be connected with how you feel and your emotions. So a lot of us out here, we think that we're leading and we're not. Why? Because we're not connected with who we are at the core of us. We're not connected with our emotions. So if you're not connected with your emotions, you already lost. You're already behind the eight ball. You're not leading. Then the next step of leading is understanding that you're not perfect. And as a result, you exercise self compassion. When you're thinking about yourself as a leader, understanding that leading, a big part of it is the journey. A big part of it is getting to understand yourself more. Leading doesn't mean, oh, I'm at the front of the line and everybody just follows me and we're off to win. That's not what leading
Mm,
is. Leading takes bravery. Is the person that says, okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna make this decision because I feel it in my heart that this is the right decision. And I want it to pan out this way, but I'm not sure if it's gonna pan out that way. But
mhm,
I'm gonna move as if it's gonna pan out that way. That's what people really follow. They follow that spirit. They follow that confidence. They follow the honesty of, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm nervous about it, but hey, this is the path. That's what leading is. But we've hijacked leadership and we've said, okay, leadership, it has to be someone that knows everything that's gonna happen and they just gonna get the right results every single time. No, that's not leadership at all. Again,
So, mhm,
why are we making leadership synonymous with perfection? Why are we doing that?
I feel like you gave us, when it comes to productivity, that being the first unrealistic expectation that damages men to the core is aligning your worth with your productivity. And you talked about how important rest is, and understanding that even if you do nothing, you're still valuable, right? And you broke down the narrative that we can teach ourselves, a new narrative that we can teach ourselves to kind of get us into the right mindset. When it comes to being emotionally strong and not emotionally affected, you spoke about how we carry so much on our back, but we have no place or nowhere to let it all go. What would be some of the places you think we should be letting it go? Is it on the basketball court? Is it where?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there are so many ways that you could, or so many places that you can let it go. Yeah, physical
Mhm.
activity is one. I think for the most
Yeah.
part, a lot of men do that. Those who are active, yeah, you do that. You know, you're gonna play a sport. You know, you're gonna go to the gym. You're gonna lift weights. Those sorts of things. That is definitely a form of letting it go. But
Mhm.
I think an aspect that we are not. I'm not even gonna say we're not taking into consideration. I believe that we're just afraid to do. We're afraid to confide in someone. And
Mm.
there are a good number of us that when we have a woman in our lives, we're going to confide in that woman to a certain degree.
Mhm.
But it's very important for you to have male friends to confide into because a man can only understand a man. A woman
Mm.
can understand you, but not to the depths that another man can understand you. Like there are pressures that men go through that women don't face. That's just the reality. There are certain things that women go through that men don't face. So I'm not saying that we can't be there for each other, but there's a different power that comes when you have another man to confide in, to speak to. They can hear you out. They be like, yeah, oh, you going through that? Dang, okay. I'm gonna do something similar. Look, this is what you do. You know, man, we all want to we love a good game plan. That already makes us feel good. Like, I was like, okay, you've been through that? Yeah, because when I'm going through something, in my mind, I'm always trying to think of who can I contact that has been through something similar. That's a
Mhm.
comfort in itself. Because now I know when I'm expressing to you what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling in my situation, I know you're not going to judge me versus somebody else that haven't been through it. I'm not saying they're going to automatically judge you, but it could be like, dang, why are you thinking this way? And that happened to me. I was on the reverse end, right? Where
Yeah.
one of our boys was going through something, and I'm like, "Yo, why you thinking that way? Like, you gotta let that go." But then I started going through it, and I was like, "Oh, this is why he was thinking and feeling the way he was feeling." But you see, I didn't go through it yet. And yeah, I'm a therapist. Yeah, I went to school for this. Yeah, I read all the books, but guess what? I'm still human. Like, I'm not gonna be able to empathize with every single thing, especially when it comes to people close to you. It's like, yo,
Right.
why you feeling that way? Like, you a good guy. Like, come on, let's move on. But then when I started going through, I was like, oh, I get it now. So that's why I always connect with people that have gone through something similar because it's like I know I can truly express how I feel, and they're gonna get it because they've been through it, and it literally happens without fail. Every single time, if I'm going through something and I speak to another man that has been through it, it was like, oh yeah. She said, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. He said, oh, you felt that too? I was feeling the same way. It's like, it's crazy how we're going through the same things internally, but because we have this mindset and this posture that we got to be strong, we shouldn't share what's going to make us look this way, it's like we're crumbling and we're dying inside.
Mm. So, what advice would you give to the man that felt like he had to have everything figured out? And now he's getting to that point of his life where it's like, man, nothing is happening the way I thought it would. What advice, what kind of steps would you get him to like understand where he is and kind of recalibrate?
hmm one of the first things I would do, get off social media.
Ooh.
One of the first things, get off social media because we don't recognize, even if you're following good content, good stuff, That stuff is playing a major role in your how you thinking and how you viewing yourself. It's playing a major
Right.
role because people are just showing you the highlights of their lives.
Mhm.
They're just showing you the highlights. That's all. They're just showing you the highlights. So you need to be able to get off social media. That's number one. Because we don't recognize that social media dysregulates a lot of us and it impacts our decision making a lot. And it definitely impacts how we see ourselves. So if you feel as if you lost, you're not where you want to be, you're behind, get off social media. That is the very first thing that I would do. The next thing I would do, think about what you value most. Think about what you value most in life. And if you don't know what you value most, just go on Google and just put values assessment. I don't know. We also have a episode on values. I don't know which episode it is, but yeah, I just scroll down a little bit. Yeah, I'll find it. I'll put it in the show notes too. Just see what you value most. Make a list, make a top 10 values, narrow it down to 5, narrow it down to
Mhm.
3. Now you start to make
When you
decisions and your
Mhm.
behavior start to mirror those values. So something that I value most is growth. I love growth. Like I'm really big on growing. I just love to grow. This is why I'm always
Mhm.
reading something on growth. This is why I'm in therapy. This is why I'm always watching or listening to things that deal with growth. So my behaviors are matching that value. Now you can't say you value something and you don't see it showing up in your life every day. Like people are like, oh, I value health, but you're never exercising. You're always eating junk. You're not around people who are healthy. How do you say you value health? You want to value health, but you don't value health for real.
Mhm.
So then now you have to start making decisions that are in alignment with that value if you say you want to value that. So that's the next thing you do. Just know exactly what you value because now your values are going to start to direct you and put you in a position to now you're going to start to feel better about yourself because that's one thing a lot of us don't recognize. When you're not feeling good about yourself and you're always comparing yourself to other people, or you feel as if you're behind, you don't recognize that you're probably not living according to your values. And you're probably not living according to your values because you don't even know what your values are. You don't even know.
So what if you do that value assessment and there's some surface level values? Like what if there are values there that are like, I don't know, I value money because I mean, I love the attention that money brings me.
You don't value money. Money is not
Mhm.
value. It's either you value freedom because money brings freedom, or from the perspective that you just said it, you value external validation.
Okay.
That's a danger right there. Now, if you value external validation, you got to go digging as to why you value external validation because you're always going to be disappointed. You're always going to feel burnt out. You're going to eventually feel irritable. You're going to feel as if you're never meeting the mark when you value external validation. So that's
Okay.
where that's where more digging has to be done. So it's not money. Money is just, that's the symptom. That's just the symptom.
Man, any last words you have for us, bro?
To all my men out there, I just want to let you know that you are valuable, you are valued, you are loved, you are appreciated, you are the greatest, and you don't have to do anything to prove that. Maybe that's it.
That's it. I love you, bro.
Love you too. Until we pod again.